Hey everyone, welcome back to FTB Infinity Evolved! And here on the SS Bentley, I've been making a few changes, moving up some more machines into our brand new machine room, fitting it out nicely with some industrial craft machines that we've had downstairs, and partially setting them up with some logistics pipes. So I got some MK3s set up on these guys. In fact, on the metal former, I'm going to be making a few changes here, and I was trying something out. I was like, well, wait a minute. We can actually have up to MK, I think, 7 chassis pipes, which holds, like, I don't even know how many modules. Let's actually check. I think it actually gets bigger the higher we go. So MK5, I'm sorry, can hold 8 modules. Now that's pretty awesome in the fact that we can actually separate inside of this chassis pipe here to say we want a crafting module, and each crafting module can do a different crafting process for, say for instance, this machine here. I'm going to tell it, hey, I want 1 piece of tin for 1 tin plate. Pretty cool stuff. I like that. That's going to be very helpful for us to actually use this machine mainly for the rolling purposes to make all of the plates that we need and casings and all of that stuff. So I'm going to be utilizing that very soon. And as far as the rest of the machines, I still kind of need to do a little bit more hooking up on, but I have made a brand new item as well, an ender tank here. Set us up a system because I've kind of noticed a increasing trend around that many of our machines are requiring a constant supply of water. So I went ahead and took the reservoir that we've had. I did have another one made as well. I went ahead and hooked it up to a blue ender tank here that's privately set to me, as you can see with the little diamond color knob there on the front. This is actually, I really like the way this looks. I like the colors on it and everything, the blue and the light blue. I don't know, I really like it. It's electrifying, what can I say? So the ender tanks are not too hard to make as long as we have the ender tank frame that we actually made a while back for our ender chests. So we just need some cauldrons, crushed obsidian, and wool. Nothing too hard, nothing too difficult. You'll notice I have made a few other changes and moves as well. I still have some other moving to do, but I went ahead because currently before, our logistics pipe network was actually running off of a battery, more or less. It was on a capacitor, and as soon as it ran out of power, well, our logistics pipe system wasn't really working so well. So I went ahead and moved our junction right there, as you can see. Boop. And it's hooked up currently to the right side engines of the SS Bentley. We got our HV capacitor set up and power running all the way to the windmills that are actually our engines. So yeah, basically that is how our system's currently running. I don't know how I'm going to set up the other side yet or what I'm going to do it for, but I'll figure something out in the meantime. And as far as our nuclear reactor is concerned, I have actually died numerous times playing around with the uranium. And funny enough, Rejacent, he's a part of We All Playcast, him and Hermione. I probably said, I butchered that, Hermione. We All Playcast, they are Twitch casters, and they stream on twitch.tv if you guys are unfamiliar, on We All Playcast. But Rejacent sent me over some Rad-X here. This is from Thaumic Tinkerer. This actually expels any effects that are on your player. At the time when it's active, it will use a little bit of durability at the time. So say for instance we put a little bit of uranium in our inventory, yeah, this is going to kill us. You see our radiation timers going up. So I'm actually going to go ahead and put that right back into the containment box. We're going to shift right click on this guy and Raj, it's not working. I think he said you could put it in your bobble slot too. It's supposed to help remove. Oh, there it goes. That's where it goes, actually, I guess. Oh, they must have made a brand new change to it. Back in the day, that wasn't how it actually worked. But I will keep it there. That's pretty awesome, actually. I like the new change. Let's actually try that one more time. It's so magical. I love it. Oh, thank you, Raj. I needed some Rad-X anyway. So there we go. We got our nuclear reactor going just fine. It's producing us all the power we need. Probably need a little bit more soon enough, but these are the guys we're after, the depleted uranium fuel rods. The reason being is, once we are able to, and get enough of them, we can actually throw them back into the thermal centrifuge, get a little bit of iron out of it, some more uranium, and a tiny pile of plutonium. Now, the nice thing about this little tiny pile of plutonium is that we can actually craft it into a normal piece of plutonium, which then we can craft into some MOX nuclear fuel, which we can also make into pellets of RTG fuel, which both of these items are used in crafting a couple different items, especially these things, which I've come to find out these things I'm like the creative cell I probably won't be able to get to because I'm not doing a magic run through. I'm going mainly tech, and to do the extreme crafting, you need to run through Draconic Evolution, which is a mixture of both tech and magic. So yeah, just gonna be going through tech on this for now. But anyway, as we can see here, also the MOX nuclear fuel is used to make the iridium, as well as the pellets of RTG fuel, and this is mainly what we're after. We're going to be using this to make us some really cool and fun new stuff. But to actually get a good amount of that coming in, we're going to want to make a brand new machine from Industrial Craft to help aid us in making even more of it. And I figured what better time to actually get started with that than right now. So let's go and take a look at what we want. We want to make... Long dramatic pause? No, seriously, I already know what it is. I'm trying to think of the other thing. We're looking at making this guy right here. We want a mass fabricator. Now, he's not too bad to make. Granted, I've gotten a few things already ready to go for us. Let's go ahead and grab our iron plates. Please tell me we have... All right, here's the fun thing, guys. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? 20. I already got some right there, but guess what? They're going to be making their way over in just a moment. Unfortunately, though, I've actually had a little bit of an issue. I don't know if they're going to make their way into here or if they're actually going to go into the IC2 chest first. Yeah, I don't think they're making their way in here, actually. I think they're going into the IC2 chest upstairs here, which is right there. Yep, see, they're slowly but surely making their way right in there. So I don't know really what that's from. I'm sure it's something to do with like the provider pipes and all that stuff that I currently have set up, but I'll work on fixing that probably a little bit later on. So let's go ahead and grab our basic machine casings. We're gonna need some alloy. Good thing I already made up some of this junk. We'll get that. Do we have carbon plates? We do. In fact, I've actually been cooking up a little bit of that upstairs here. Some carbon plates. And I think that's pretty much it there. I've also over here been making up some more refined iron thanks to a little bit of iron and pulverized coal. Now that we are actually getting that in, things are working a lot nicer currently. We'll go ahead and toss a stack of this into our metal former to start making us up some of the refined iron plates, because I know we're going to be needing those very soon. All right, so we got these guys. What else are we going to need? Well, we're going to need some glowstone for one. So let's get some of those. I'm pretty sure we're going to need some circuits. So let's get some electronic circuits on the go. What else are we going to need for you, my friend? Advanced circuits require some capacitors. Please tell me I did. Okay, good. Whew. And we need some chipsets. So we do have plenty of those guys. And some circuit boards. Wait, please, come on. No. Whew. I got to get auto crafting on all of this stuff going, just to make life that much easier. Yes, by the way, you guys do indeed hear a cow. Milk also does not remove radiation, which I believe I do now remember reading a while back ago on one of the updates, that indeed it does not remove radiation. I don't even know if anything removes radiation except for this little nice little Rad-X talisman here, which is amazing, by the way. We're going to need another 2 advanced circuits. What do you know? I totally forgot. We got to get these things auto-crafting as well. That's the big thing. Let's get those guys. We're going to need some more of these chips. Where are they at? We're going to need 8 of these guys. So you, bloop, bloop. And I'm actually worried that we don't have enough capacitors. No, we do, thankfully. Yes. Whew. Okay, good. All right, so last but not least, we got our other 2 advanced circuits that we're going to need. Our basic machine casing, advanced alloys, carbon plates, and now we just need our refined iron plates. We'll just go ahead and say, hey, give me 14 of those. And with those chests moved upstairs, the nice thing about that is that they're a lot closer to the main part of our logistics system, so things are going to arrive here a lot faster than what they were. So that's a nice part about that. What am I missing? Oh, they're not interchangeable. Well, drat. I thought they were interchangeable. That's all right. My bad. All right, so we got all of those guys ready to go. We need our Lapatron crystals. We need some Energium dust. So let's grab 4 diamonds. We're going to have to start getting out on a quest for more diamonds soon enough. All right, we'll head back upstairs, set this into our macerator, and let that do its stuff. Grab ourselves a few pieces of redstone here. We'll just grab ourselves a quick tin. And we do have a crafting table upstairs here, so that'll be helpful. We'll just utilize this little fella right here real quick. Get you out of the way. 1, 2, 3. 5 of you. Toss us into the compressor. We need some upgrades in you, my friend. Make life faster for us. And there we have it. We have ourselves another crystal, and now we can start working on making ourselves the mass fabricator. Now this little fella here, he's a little bit different than most machines in industrial craft. The cool thing about him is that we can actually utilize him to make a very unique liquid called UU matter. Now UU matter is actually going to help us in the creation, let's do this, of even more resources. So we can utilize it to make practically just about anything we want, and with that we have our mass fabricator. So you can see it actually can take up to 512 EU per tick, which is quite a bit, but let's go ahead and toss this guy down real quick. We're gonna take a quick peek at what he can actually do. We're gonna hook him up directly to our right here to our nuclear reactor, courtesy of a little bit of immersive engineering. And we can already hear him hard at work. So we can actually hear progress 6%. You hear that little noise? It's slowly working. So now how do we actually speed this up? There's actually a way to actually speed it up. Now the problem is that this guy does require and uses, he doesn't actually require, but he does use a lot of power. And if we take a look over here at our MFE, you can see it's draining rapidly. That's pretty quick. And that is just an MFE. We do want to get that upgraded later on back to an MFSU, but for now, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and watch him do his stuff. We'll pick this up for the time being. And his internal buffer, yep, I think he has halted. I'm actually curious, can we put this? I was wondering, because a lot of industrial craft machines can actually run off redstone. You can place this into like the power slot and it'll actually consume the redstone in use of power, which is actually pretty cool, especially if you have an infinite and abundant supply of redstone. Would make life a lot easier. Now, there is another machine that we want to make and possibly make many more of. I was actually considering already making maybe 3 more of these mass fabricators just because I figured the more we have, the better. You know, the faster we would wind up making our UU matter. Now, the next machine I want to make to hopefully aid us along in getting even more UU matter and faster at that is this is the one I keep forgetting. It's something to do with scrap or something like that. There it is, the recycler. I don't know why I cannot remember that for the life of me. I have no clue, but we are going to want to make this little guy here, which is going to require a few more of these iron plates. Let's grab a few of those, probably too many, but that's okay. We'll just do this, toss that there, and that'll give us another basic machine casing. We're gonna need some circuits, which I don't know, is that enough? Recycler. All right, we only need 1 for the compressor, so that's a good thing. Let's request some stone. 1, 2, and these are the machines that we're going to want to probably make quite a few of. Now, making a compressor is really not that hard. It's pretty simple. Just takes a few little bits of resources, just some iron and stuff, and stone's easy enough to come by. The other stuff we practically have a decent amount of, so it's not really a problem. We just need a little bit of iron and glowstone. So a couple more pieces of iron. Do you, and a piece of glowstone. All of the glue. There we have it. We have a recycler. Now this little fella here, we're gonna set him up probably. This is not gonna be like permanent. This is completely temporary, but we're gonna go ahead and request ourselves. We have 15,000 sandstone, but that's a little bit more valuable cobblestone. We can make cobblestone super easy. And we're gonna toss some stuff in there. So basically, if you have any item that you really do not want, you can practically throw it inside of this little fella here, and he will turn it into an item called scrap. And scrap is very useful in a mass fabricator in the fact that it allows you to amplify the mass fabricator's progress. And I think it makes it a little bit more efficient, but we'll see here that every time it runs and makes a cycle, it has a chance of making scrap. Now, it's not going to make scrap every time, apparently, obviously, but it does have a chance. I'm not sure, I can't remember if this is like amplified. I haven't really run through this in a while, but this little guy right here is what we're looking for. Scrap. As you can see, he actually has a pretty decent burn time, so we could utilize this as a fuel source or some other means and method later. We do want to run and find ourselves, though. We should have some overclockers hiding somewhere. I know I made some, and I have a plentiful amount of them somewhere. I know when we had our machines over there. Let's go ahead and take a look. Overclockers. No, they're not in there. Like, I want to say we had more than this, but I guess not. I'm actually going to grab all 10 of the ones that I currently have. We'll run over to our recycler here. Let's toss these in here and see how fast this guy goes now. So you can see running through a stack of cobblestone with 10 overclockers makes life a lot better. We're actually going to grab ourselves a couple stacks of cobblestone now and see this little guy work in progress here. So check it out. Look at all that scrap coming in. That's what I like to see. Now, once we finish this up, I'm going to show you guys something else that we're going to be planning on doing here in just a minute after we set this up. So what are we going to do with this scrap? Well, first of all, we could just toss this straight up into our mass fabricator. It would work. And it would make things go by a little bit faster. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this by hooking this up real fast. And we're hooked back up to our nuclear reactor. Now, I'm pretty sure this cannot take overclockers, but it does take scrap. So I'm actually going to go ahead and toss 10 of them in there, and you guys will be able to see what it does. As you can see, it says amplifier, and then the process is going a lot faster, and we should be getting a little bit closer to making ourselves our very first little bit of UU matter. So I'm going to go ahead and let that continue running in just a second. So let's pick that up. And let's head down to the crafting table. Now I think this is actually a little bit better. If we take our scrap and craft it into a scrap box, I think it works even better than just a regular piece of scrap. So we have means of actually crafting scrap boxes a lot better than just anything else. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. How well does a scrap box work? We'll just put one in. Yeah, that definitely looks like it worked a lot better than just a piece of scrap. It could, and it very well may have, but we're gonna go ahead and go with scrap boxes. It may not have, it may have, I don't know. But we'll toss that in there. As you can see, we have 1 millibucket of UU matter. Isn't that awesome? 1 millibucket. I can't believe it. Oh my goodness. 1 millibucket. Whatever will we do with 1 millibucket? Well, that's the good thing. It's gonna take us a long time to actually start getting ourselves a nice supply of UU matter in. So every little bit of UU matter that we actually get is gonna be precious in some aspects. So what we're going to want to do, I'm actually going to put this in a tank. We're going to just redo this in a minute and set ourselves up probably with a better tank. But for now, let's take a look. Do we have an ejector? Yep, we do. Fluid ejector upgrade. We're going to request this little fella over here for now. And we're going to just go ahead and toss him in here, put a portable tank right next to it, and we should see our little bit of purple goop called UU matter filling that up right there. And as soon as this gets to 100, I'm actually going to pop this off so that way he stops. And we have 2 millibuckets of UU matter. So what I'm going to do, guys, is this is what we're going to be setting up. I'm going to go ahead and make up probably a few more of these recyclers. And I'm going to find a nice place for these guys to call home. And we'll start setting up a nice little system to craft ourselves, scrap boxes, and set those guys up to go into our mass fabricator. Maybe, just maybe, setting it up on this side here for the time being, because our nuclear reactor, that's probably going to wind up killing it rather quickly. So we don't really want to do that I'm aware of at the moment, because we need the power up here to fuel all of our other machines, and that's currently what we're running off of. Now we could just utilize that and hook that up over here. Maybe that'll be the idea, and just use the nuclear reactor to run this. I think that might be a better idea. So we'll go ahead and start hooking that up currently, and I'll be back in just a minute after I get a few more machines crafted, made up, and ready to go. See you guys back in just a minute. Alright guys, and we are back with ourselves a brand new logistics power junction. This is going to be an independent system from our main logistics pipe network. I've already got them set up with an HV wire connector and everything. I've went ahead and made up a few things. I've got some more overclocker upgrades ready to go. I may have to make some more of those up actually. I've also went ahead and made up the Ignis extruder. This is the reinforced version of it. We have a augment for increased batch size, so this is level 1 and level 2, so this is going to give us up to 32 cobblestone per operation. I'm hoping that's going to be enough for us. So let's go ahead and jump this guy down and get this all up and running. So what I'm going to do is, we'll say for instance, probably going to set up, I don't know actually how I really want to do this, to be honest with you guys. Thinking maybe like recyclers here. Like I said, I may wind up redoing this at some point here, just because. And then we'll do a where's our my mass fabricator's still over there. Whoops, my bad. Really gonna have to turn on that mob farm at some point soon. All right, so there we go. We'll pick him up. We'll go get our little bit of UU matter just sitting there, our little 2 millibuckets, but we'll take a look at that later. We'll see how it might affect our crafting in a bit. So let's go ahead and take a look. Let's see. Let's set up our Ignis extruder here. We're going to jump into our augments here. So we have 2 open augments. We'll just go ahead and toss those right in there. And we have cobblestone selected, ready to go. So we're going to use that because it's basically free to make with 1 bucket of lava and 1 bucket of water. Easily done. We have ourselves made. Oh, look at that. It's already went into that guy too. What do you know? Already made ourselves. Oh, this guy holds up to 16 buckets. Look at that guy go. Pretty nice. All right, so that's going to go ahead and do all of its work there. I think we'll go ahead and set up these on the top here for power. We'll go ahead and jump a HV wire connector here. Hook him up to the relay. That'll get these guys working. Hopefully. No, you're not working. Why are you not working? Why you gotta do this to me? Why? Oh, why? I hate it when it does stuff like this. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and steal this for the time being then. And we'll toss him there. I'm very certain this will work. There we go. That's working just fine. All right, so maybe I'll have to hook these guys up independently. Guess it just really doesn't like the other things. Okay, that's completely all right. So I've went ahead and made up also some provider logistics pipe. We got 4 of these guys. Now, these actually attaches to an inventory, and it can send up to 16 items to the network on request and ignores suppliers on the same line. So we're going to set these guys up like this. on here, and basically what it's going to do is it's going to probably read the scrap, is at least what I'm hoping, and I'm going to set up back here a crafting logistics pipe. I'm also going to go ahead and jump into, let's go ahead and steal this guy very carefully without breaking a machine. Give him a little bit of power, and we're going to amp him up a bit, so that way he can just go ahead and make us the scrap that we're looking for. So there we go. Oh my gosh. That is nuts. How much power did that actually use? Oh, I don't know. It did fill up the LP logistics junction there, so I'm not quite sure how much that actually used. All right, anyways, little detour there. We're going to go ahead and say 9 of these are going to make our fluxed bot joined the channel. I don't know who that is. I don't know what that is. I hope it's not Skynet. So we're going to go ahead and craft our scrap box. In fact, we're probably going to need another crafter as well. Let's go ahead and, actually, I think we might already have one made. Yeah, logistics crafting table. Perfect. All right, let's fly down this way. We'll set this little guy up right here for now. And we'll say this, because it's very weird. I guess I really didn't need to make that, but that's okay. And we'll just go ahead and hit import. There we go. Everything's cool now. So I'm assuming once we actually set this up properly, we're going to take this supplier logistics pipe, which I made with a little bit of lapis and a basic logistics pipe. If we hook this guy up here, like so, and say, for instance, we want to keep requested one of these, will it automatically export out of here and go into there? That's the question. That's the $1 million question I'm hoping for, at least. It should run right through, if anything. Here, let's speed up this process real quick and see if this actually does work. Come on, scrap, come with me. I was kind of hoping to simplify this whole method here. Oh, come on. Seriously? Am I that unlucky? It's like, are you really unlucky? All right, so items to provide. I'm assuming it should be okay. Just say this. I guess it just doesn't want to work, actually. I'm pretty certain that this guy is hooked up properly. Yeah, he's hooked up from the bottom. Scrap. Okay, guys, I'm going to fiddle around with this. You kind of see what I'm wanting to do here. Infinite. No? Okay. I'm going to poke around with this, see if I can get this work. I was hoping to get it like a little bit more simplified than that, without having to run too many of these pipes around, but I'll be back in just a second. Once I actually get this thing filled up with and get some more of these connectors going, we'll be back in just a second. Alright guys, we are back, and I believe I may have got this actually working the way I want it to. So, what I did was I went and just swapped out these other provider pipes, and I left the supplier logistic pipe there. Went ahead and moved this forward also, this power junction there. Things are working out pretty nicely thus far. We got ourselves 13 scrap boxes. Not the best in the world, but we're also missing 2 of these guys. Check it out. They should be making their way out, crafting for us our scrap boxes. Look at that. Isn't that nice? So I have it set up currently to just receive up to 24. Did I seriously put my wrench away? Yeah, I did. My bad. Can I access this with a hammer? Yeah, well, figured it was like close to a wrench or something. I don't have a spare wrench on me. But anyways, you'll take my word for it. So pretty much all we really have to, and you know what, I might as well just go get it and show you guys, because I already put up the other thing that I needed to by accident, because my thing broke downstairs and I didn't mean for it to break. The request thing. I broke-sitted it and I didn't mean to. Is it in here? I feel like it would be in here. No? No, it's in here. Aha! Found you. All right, so pretty much we should have everything all nice and set up, and I do just want this to run and do its thing, use up all the power on this, so that way this runs down faster, depleting these much quicker, while also producing us some UU matter. The reason why we want this to go down is because we want the MOX fuel, we want the plutonium, so that way we can work our way towards, slowly but surely, some iridium. That's correct. We're going to be making some iridium hopefully soon enough, something I've not really ever done myself, and I think it would be kind of fun to see how to go about this whole process. So check that out, guys. We're going to be going through all these scrap boxes, and as soon as it runs down low enough, if there's enough scrap over here, it'll automatically craft what it needs to place back into the mass fabricator. That's pretty cool stuff. So this is going to run probably for a while. As you can see, we already got ourselves another millibucket, so it definitely runs a lot faster with scrap boxes in here. I don't know if these are going to be able to actually keep up, but the way I actually set these guys up was down underneath our igneous extruder. I have set up a speed upgrade with a stack upgrade, extracting from the bottom of the igneous extruder into each of these guys, and it's looks like it's actually keeping up with production as far as cobblestone is concerned. So we could possibly go through and look at just maybe making some more recyclers for even more scrap in the future. Because right now it looks like we might need a little bit more, just because we did have a backlog over here. So we might need a little bit more. It's a good possibility. It doesn't cost too much. The only thing that's really costly over here is pretty much just the power and stuff, the mass fabricator. So you can see this thing is draining rather quickly, even though it is on. This guy does use quite a bit of power, so he uses up to 512 EU per tick, and with the scrap box in there, progress is increased a lot more. So we're up to 7 millibuckets. Now we could run this on some alternate power, and eventually I'm hoping that we'll be able to. So we're gonna let this run, do its stuff, and in the meantime, we're gonna have to start setting up some other small things, some other farms, say for instance, some sugarcane farms, because I'm currently running a little low on paper. Now, that's a little bit of an issue, trust me, because we're doing a lot of stuff with logistics pipes, and we need paper. We need paper for all the modules, and something I don't really have. So probably gonna have to start setting that up next, but with all that being said and done, I have to say this looks like it's working rather nicely, actually. It's still gonna be a little slow on the scrap, so yeah, we definitely need to probably get some more of those, or just come over this way, and I'll make up some of those more soon enough. But what we could do is just steal over here some of these here and here, and just go ahead and throw those into the recyclers. Now we'll use more power this way, but it might be able to keep up a little bit better. So let's do that. We'll add another couple into each of them. We'll do 2 and you, 2 and you, and why not? Let's just put them all in there. Go ham, my friend. Go crazy. Hopefully that'll help speed up the process a little bit, because I want to make sure this thing runs and has at least a scrap box in there at all times, because it'll work a lot better that way. So that's kind of the goal here. We're gonna let it do its stuff. It's probably doing a lot of work currently, yeah, trying to keep up with everything. So all right, that's cool. I like it. So guys, I'm gonna say thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any helpful tips, tricks, or comments, feel free to put them in the comment section down below. If you guys would rate the video, I'd greatly appreciate it. And until next time, we'll see you guys then. Goodbye.